Yeah, nothing frail about it. 63 parks, 52 weeks, an estimated 15,000 miles from tropical island shores to the snowy mountainscapes near the Arctic to get all of the stamps on our passport to the parks.
Yeah, we were able to make the year-long trek to America's natural wonders despite what all four seasons threw at us.
That's right. Well, how about we look back and look ahead to the next adventure with our tour guides, the Pattiz Brothers. First, thanks so much for spearheading this adventure, not only with your online guide, but with your monthly visits as well. And you know, we started last winter with 8 stops west of the Mississippi, and several spots were hampered by some heavy snow and rain. In fact, parts of Death Valley just reopened after some flooding this year. Jim, what kind of changes can we expect to see when weather takes over parks like Kings Canyon or Saguaro?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, weather plays a huge role in all of these national parks. A place like Kings Canyon, you know, it's situated right next to Sequoia National Park in the southern Sierra Nevadas there. And as we know, those areas have seen some major wildfires over the last few years that have really altered the landscapes of both of those parks. And unfortunately, you know, some of those giant sequoias have been burned down in those wildfires. But, you know, Kings Canyon still an absolutely spectacular place. And at over 400,000 acres, you're going to have so much varied terrain, you know, high mountains, low valleys, rivers. So you're really going to experience all the different kinds of weather you can find in a national park there. In addition, I mean, you talked about Saguaro National Park down there in Tucson, Arizona. Really, that park, as we probably know, is all about the heat. I think Will and I have been on the show a few times from there when it's been about 120 degrees. So it gets very, very hot down there. So you really have to plan accordingly if you're visiting in the summer. Don't be out there in the heat of the day.
Well, we had to hop on a plane to get away from winter weather woes as well and hit our first set of parks, island parks, a pair in Hawaii, along with the Virgin Islands, and our farthest park, American Samoa. So, Will, what makes these the best getaways when the temperatures are cold?
Well, I mean, for one, you know, look at the way I'm dressed today. I'd be dressed a little bit differently if I was in Hawaii or the Virgin Islands. I mean, take the Virgin Islands, for example. White sand beaches, warm waters, tropical scenery. Right now, that's looking pretty good. Same kind of story on Hawaii volcanoes, although it's a bit more rugged. Here, you really have to check the updates on the website, and we provide it on ours as well, where you have literally an active volcano going off. And then you go to a place like Haleakala National Park on Maui, and you have more of the mixed tropical scenery on one side of the park, which is really beautiful and less visited on the road to Hana, and then the very popular Haleakala crater. So these are some much warmer, you know, destinations this time of year.
No doubt. Now, of course, South Carolina was the first spot east of the Mississippi to brighten our trip here with its fireflies, and then we opened the gates to the middle of the country. Jim, what makes places like Congaree and the Gateway Arch, as well as Mammoth Cave, such drivable or walkable adventures?
Yeah, well, first of all, I absolutely love Congaree National Park. I mean, as you mentioned, the fireflies they have those synchronous fireflies, which you can also see in the Great Smoky Mountains, but you don't get the crowds that you would get there in Congaree. So that's a really cool place to visit. Although in the summer, the mosquitoes are probably the worst of any national park, so keep that in mind. Another one you mentioned is Gateway Arch National Park. Unfortunately, I do have to say that this is ranked last on our list of national parks. We kind of talked about this. At 90 acres, it's easily the smallest national park, and it really just doesn't have any of the hallmarks of a traditional national park, being situated in the midst of St. Louis. So it's not really your average national park there.
Wow. Well, Will and Jim Pattiz, thank you so much.